Hey, welcome to the another podcast. And this is the time of the day when you would want to put your headphones, either start running. I do not want to waste a lot of time just talking in front of this camera and you listening to it. I would highly suggest just keep moving. That will do two things. One, it will make you healthy, and the second, it will fill you up with all the information which I'm going to share here. I got again a couple of feedbacks from my last video. I tried to fix a couple of the things which were wrong in that video, and today I'm doing some things very differently. Yesterday it took me a long time to edit my video because I was screen recording differently and the camera feed was recorded as a separate feed. Plus there were two different audio streams, and playing with two different audio streams is a pain in the ass, and I have already learned this before. So right now I'm just using one audio stream across the app. So today what I did, I am using OBS. So OBS is recording my screen plus my camera feed, which is the same similar this one, plus the camera is recording its own video feed. And today I'm going to use this mic because in my testing just before this part, I found out like the sound from this one is much better than the sound from the Heliland. So yeah, welcome again. And today we are going to talk a little bit about the app which I'm going to create. So this is an app. Basically today is Sunday. So let's first start with like how my day was. Today was Sunday and I was out of my home. I went to my village where my father lives. And yeah, most of the day went there. I met my grandma, my family, and the whole day was out there. I came back, I fixed a couple of issues on my blog, and I found out the issues are not very minor now because there is no backend. The Heroku backend is gone. So what I have to do is I have to redeploy my backend on Render I'm using. If you're not aware of Render, it's better not to show the dashboard because I don't know what you will find here, but Render, yeah, this one. So Render is something similar to Heroku, but much simpler, cost effective, and I'm already running like two different services on this, and this will be my third service for my blog, which I will host here. For individuals, you do not have to pay anything. I am on this plan. I think there are some things which keep on increasing if you like if you want more CPUs, more services, but I'm still on the individual plan, and I would happily pay the $19 plan as well, like if I have to, but I don't think it's this effective. I think the minimum plan is $7, so it would work very well for me for a very long time. I am not going to get any like such traffic anytime soon. So I'm good. So there I'm going to host my server backend, the whole Strapi backend, tweak something. The good thing is the Obsidian notepad has already had all my blogs. So my data is already in my local machine. I'll have to just publish them again on the new server. I'll have to tweak the plugin. So it's a lot more task than I anticipated earlier, which I might do this next week. Today, then what I did was I was just brainstorming and preparing myself for the coming week, because Sundays I usually sit and plan my next week. So next 5 days till Friday, most of the week, almost like 50-60% will go on my app which I'm building, the Mac OS recording app, and I'm planning to do 30% or 40% of tasks on a new application, which is an iOS app. So I'm pretty excited for this because I already wanted this app for myself. I found there are some alternates, but I don't find them very good, and they are very costly, and they do not do what I really want. So the basic idea is a simple app which holds. Okay, instead of just going directly into the prototyping phase, let me just share what the app is. The app is, so the problem is, basically, the problem is I write a lot in Notion, but the speed of at what, how much I can output based on my typing is not at the speed at which I can think. I can talk at that speed sometimes. Even I ramble around some, like I go into the deep holes of some thoughts. For example, if I'm talking about topic A and suddenly I cross the topic B, and then I will go into the topic B, and then I'll come back to topic A. if you're typing all this nonsense, it takes a very long time and then it's not very effective. What I'm thinking is, what if I can just babble in English, Hindi, or in any language and record all of this in real time? And then the app will transcribe it into proper formatted notes, because transcription is very easy with Whisper. If you do not know about Whisper, it's like OpenAI Whisper. You can use Whisper or any other AI tool, but this is like speech recognition and converting it into text. So this is what it does. You give it, you talk, you send it an MP3 file, and it will give you all the text output, or it will do the transcription and everything. So this is what Whisper is. This is what I'm going to use as a backend. So whenever I record something, I pass it the MP3 and then it returns the text. Now the good part, this is not the best part. The good part is then I can ask the AI there directly with some options, what is the core action points from this text. For example, if I'm thinking about an idea or a bug in my application, right? I'm just talking to myself. It's like talk. So this idea came when I found out, like most of the time when I have any bug in my product, I talk to my friend or my brother, and I just share my idea, like, hey, this is the problem I'm facing. I tried this. And most of the times I found like I myself find the solution while explaining the problem. So there I thought, what if I can just talk to this AI where I'm recording and telling my problem to the AI, and then either I will get the idea by myself, or I can just ask the AI, hey, do you think is there any solution for this? And then AI can answer me back without me typing lengthy prompts to the AI. So here is the simple idea. You talk to the AI, it transcribes into text, it returns you an answer. And then, for example, if I'm telling it, I'm talking like this to the AI, what I have done so far, and I'll say, hey, give me a title for this topic which I'm talking about. It will give me 5-10 topics. And then I'll say, hey, tell me, I went to a zoo and we saw a tiger, and I clicked a picture, a beautiful picture where tiger is looking at me. Give me an Instagram caption for this with some hashtags. I'll just say this to the app and it will do all of these things for me. Pretty simple, nothing fancy, and I think it has a ton of usage, and with time I'm planning to upgrade it. And the cost, I'll put it not very expensive as other apps are out there. I think there are only a couple of apps, 1 or 2 apps, which are doing such thing. And the opportunity is huge right now in such similar apps, because note-taking is one of the big industry. As you can see, there are a ton of note-taking apps like Obsidian, Notion. Everyone is trying different things, and there are users who try most of them and then stick to one, which I have done. Like I have tried almost 10 note-taking apps, and finally I have stick to either Notion or Obsidian. Like it depends on, basically like 80% Notion, 20% Obsidian, just because in Obsidian I can create my own plugins. So the idea is, there is just, you open the app, you do not have to sign in or anything. Everything remains locally on machine, because well, maybe I can give a linking feature, but not in the MVP phase. Let's stick to the MVP basically. So the MVP phase would be, you just tap on the screen and there is a button, a record button, and as soon as you tap, it starts listening, and then the button converts to a stop button like this. And whatever you're talking, you can see some jiggly lines here based on whatever you are saying, and then you stop. As soon as you stop, the app then goes to a new screen, which is basically, it says converting, and then all of your text is here. Lorem ipsum. So this is like some default text, right? Then all of your text is right here, and then it will give you 4-5 options, automatic options here. 1, 2, let's say only 4 options in the version 1. So one is, what is this? This is a note, like just keep it as it is, right? And then other is quotes. Maybe I'm talking about some topic which I understood recently or read a book, and I want to explore my own thought process around it. And I want to bring some quotes which would help from the context which I've just shared. I really like this. I do this a lot with AI. Like sometimes I write a long, lengthy paragraph in Notion, and then I copy paste it and ask AI to just generate some quotes from this, which I love to share or keep it for myself sometimes. And then there is like caption, like create a caption from the explanation which I have shared. What could be fourth? You let me know. What could be the fourth option? I definitely need 4 options, or maybe I'll think about it later. So once you click any one of those, if you click on note, it just saves it locally, nothing else. It saves whatever you have written, right? And wait. So I'm using a new mouse here today, and I don't know how to drag. Okay, here. Because in my mouse there is a vertical, like horizontal scroll. In this mouse there is none. And that's why I'm facing this issue. So next, what would happen is basically nothing. If you save a note, it will convert to a note. And depending on, let's say if you select quote, it will come at the top and all your text will be here in quotes format like this. So this is what I'm thinking of the app. A very basic app. You click on start button, start recording, give it some options, and then things are converted. That's it. And I might give 1 minute of free audio, like for users, or with the ad maybe. I really don't like ads, but the conversion of from Whisper to AI, it's costing a lot of AI resources. So I do not want to make it 100% free, because then I'll be paying for that. I do not want that. Let's call it MVP version 1. So yeah, this is the app idea which I'm planning to think and tinker a bit in this coming week. How I'm going to structure the building of the app. Basically, I usually use a mind mapper tool. I don't have my Mac Studio where I have mind mapper installed already, but let's do it here only then. So what I'm going to think about building it. First step is coming up with a basic idea, which I already have. Then second step is coming up with a front end and a back end needs. Like I'll write some notes on what other things I need on the front end, which is pretty clear here. Just 3-4 screens with a couple of buttons and API calls. Then I would think what are the backend needs here. Do I need a database schema? Which backend should I use? So a lot of work there. I think 60-70% of work would be on the backend side. And then the integration part. So most, I think it will take 2 to 3 weeks with the bandwidth I have right now. And in 3 weeks, I'm planning to release this as a first version. I will be inviting a couple of my very close friends on this. It's just an iOS app. So users or friends who are using iOS, I would just invite them. I'm planning to build the front end in Swift UI and the back end in Firebase as a cloud function, and database Firestore and real-time DB, plus authentication by Firebase as well. If I need, I don't think I'll add authentication in the first version. It just adds more complications. And the payment and integration will be done with RevenueCat. So RevenueCat, I just want to touch this topic a little bit because RevenueCat is one of the best SDKs I have ever used in applications. I've used it on Android and iOS a lot. So basically what they do is in-app purchases in general in mobile is tricky. There are different SDKs for Google. There are different code SDKs for iOS, which are their own proprietary by basically Android and Apple. Now if you are building these apps, you have to integrate a lot of things and manage a lot of things. RevenueCat makes it like 10x easier. So you go to their docs, you install their library. They give libraries for a lot of OSs. They have recently started doing for Mac OS as well. You install their SDK, you just call a couple of like params which are not shown here. Why? But yeah, not going deeper into it. But basically you just call revenuecat.purchase item and you give the purchase ID, which is all you manage. You can manage from the dashboard. They have a very neat third-party app in iOS, so you can create a widget where you can see how many subscribers have subscribed today. Everything is in real time. You can even refund to users. You can see the user graph. So it makes the subscription industry a little bit easier for you. This is what RevenueCat does. So I'm planning to use RevenueCat. Not planning, like I generally use RevenueCat for most of my apps. So yeah, let me know what do you think about this app idea, which I'm thinking to build in a couple of weeks, apart from the main app, which I'm already working on. I got some new ideas as well yesterday. After I'm using these whole podcast episodes, right? I started recording, captioning, and all those things, and I found out there are so many missing points. Like I have to use so many tools just to do very small things, and there is a huge opportunity if someone can like fix these things. One of the major thing is, for example, if I upload these to like Spotify podcast or YouTube podcast, the major issue I found is writing a description and writing a title. I do not enjoy that process. What if an AI can transcribe already what I have already written? There is already captions created. Give those captions to an AI, and AI gives you 5-10 titles which are good for your podcast. You do not have to do anything. You ask him like, hey, I need an article, I need a title which is very clickbaity. I usually won't do that, but someone might be interested in that. And then the AI will give you all based on your video. So you upload a video, it gives you the title, it gives you the description, it gives you the keywords which you can target to. And if someone makes this app, I would be happy to pay for that app. Like, it should caption my videos, it should give titles and descriptions for the video, and a possibility to maybe select from a bunch of options, not just one title, one option. One good idea which I found out, which I am wasting a lot of time in. Second would be creating thumbnails. So for example, YouTube, when you upload on YouTube, YouTube gives you like 5 options from thumbnail based on your video only. It just selects random frames from your video. Now, YouTube might do this in future, but I know this, like with the generative AI, image generative AI, there are options available where you can basically pick one image frame, for example, this particular frame, and then make it different. Like do not change my face, but change my clothes, or maybe don't change my clothes, but change my background and put some expressions on my face, write some text based on the title of the video, things like that, and give me a bunch of such ideas. So this could be one neat app, generating thumbnails. And I also know in YouTube there is a possibility to A/B test your thumbnails. Like you can pick 4-5 different thumbnails and you can select one and see which one is performing better. So you can choose 2 different thumbnails for the same video and see which one is performing better, where people are clicking more, and you then finalize, okay, I will be using this thumbnail forever. So if they are giving these features, we should be using them with this thumbnail creator tool. I don't know if such a tool exists. If it does, let me know, because I couldn't find any of these things. So yeah, and yeah, there was another idea which I was thinking. Because I was using this app called Opus, right, which makes these small short reels for you. But I found the content is not very, like it just selects some random pieces from your video only and does nothing. If there is blank silence, it will use that blank silence only. Because I know the fundamental of tech, what they are using. What they are doing is they're converting your audio into finally like a text, and then the AI is like trying to find out which text makes more sense as a short reel, and then picking that starting point and ending point, trimming my video from there, converting, like resizing it ratio based on some FFmpeg lib on the back end, and then showing it to you. That's it. Putting some captions, the same caption which it has already created, nothing else. But this is so rudimentary. We can do a lot more than this. So what we can do is basically we can first remove all the white noise, the blank noises. Like I'm taking these pauses. Short reels does not have any pause. So remove all the pauses first. This should be the first step these reel creators or short content creator apps should do. After that, pick a section where which makes more sense, right? It should not be just the text is interesting. It should be a full length content where a person is saying something, and if you are watching it, you get something out of it. In I can't give any example right now, but there are possibilities how this structure can be made. Like there should be a what, like the whole format of how communication should happen, right? What, now what, and the benefits. So we should ask AI to give a what the podcaster is talking about, and then now what, is there any section where it has mentioned anything about now what, and then is there any section where the person is talking about the benefits. This is the major, like a framework of selling something in marketing. I was reading in one book that you should start with a what means what is the current problem, and then now what means like, okay, why does it matter to me, and then give the benefits of the solution which you are proposing. So I think if these companies use these kind of frameworks to find the best reel or short content, not just doing the very basic cutting and trimming and just asking for $39, it would make more sense. It would be a really cool software that people would want to use. There was no human interaction would be required. So yeah, this is what another thing I was thinking about. So today, work-wise, nothing major got done. I just planned my day, and most of it is already planned. 60% of the day is planned for the next couple of 4 or 5 days. I have created tickets. I use an app called Linear for most of my ticket creations, and then I move them. Maybe in some other podcast, I will show you how the process looks like. But today, one major thing is I'll not be spending too much time on editing, which I did yesterday in the previous podcast. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow if possible. Monday usually is a very busy day. And thank you so much for listening again, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.